Cool.
Should we do this?
Well, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome back to another episode of So Glad We're Friends. I'm Maggie.
I'm Devin.
I'm Brittany.
And we are on day
Kind of three.
Day
2.5.
3.
morning number 2 of Palm Springs.
And it's sad because we leave tomorrow.
Ugh, I hate thinking about leaving, like when you're on the day before you leave.
I know. Do you get like pre-sad?
Yeah.
I'm not at, I think since I moved, I'm like better at that where I don't get pre-sad. But like my family's really bad at that where like 3 days before I even leave, they're like, you're leaving in 3 days. Like,
3 days.
I'm like,
That's...
no, we got to soak it in.
Yeah.
You're like, no, we have a lot more time left together. It's a long
Because then
time.
it kind of like ruins the time.
I know. It's like, I don't like how you had to check into your flight today. I'm like, I don't want to hear about that.
I know. I didn't even check in because I didn't want to hear about it.
You
I have-
didn't check it.
I have PTSD from not checking in because I thought it was like a day before or like a day later. Remember with the
Oh
Key
my god,
West
yeah.
flight?
Oh, yeah.
That's horrible.
where I was like, oh, I have a whole nother day. And then
I can't believe you did that.
little did I know I was leaving that night.
Bum.
I honestly haven't been on a vacation in such a long time where I was like already having depression thinking about leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like this trip has been very healing for me in my like travel anxiety.
Yeah.
That's really great. Like it's showing that you are fine with it.
Yeah.
And you can do it again.
Yep.
That's really cool. And Austin, like all of your experiences are.
Austin was horrible though. Like my anxiety was
Yeah.
terrible, and I
Did it get
just
better
wanted to get home.
throughout it?
No, like I didn't sleep the whole time.
Oh, I thought you did.
Did you
Mhm.
have your pills in Austin?
Yeah, but like last night I slept so well. Like
That's
that
nice.
never happens.
Yeah, we keep saying that we're all like sleeping amazingly, and I never sleep if I'm anywhere but home.
Really?
Like
I feel
up
like
5 times a night.
as long as I have a comfortable bed and comfy pillows, I feel like I can sleep pretty much
You're
anywhere.
blessed.
These pillows aren't that comfy.
I actually feel like they're okay for me.
Everybody's pillow preferences are different. I
Yeah.
think like
They also might be
everybody-
different pillows on each bed.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Not
We can
sure.
test out mine.
Okay,
I've only
swap pillows.
I've only had to
Fight.
use one behind my normally I'm
Same.
like 2 behind my head, and I've only been using one.
Same.
I like a medium. I don't like it too puffy or too flat.
Yeah.
You know, just like Goldilocks. It has to be just right.
Just right. My pillow at home is like one of those Tempur-Pedic ones, but it's like cold.
Oh,
The
yeah,
cooling
yeah.
gel.
Yeah, there's like a cooling gel or something in it. So like I start with like the cold side, and then when I flip it, it's like super cold again.
You know what I actually do is I brought my blanket. I have
Yeah.
to bring my blanket everywhere, but my thing is I sleep with my blanket on top of my pillows. And so I make
What?
like the perfect little nook for my head within my blanket.
That's so
Oh,
cute.
that's really
And I
cute.
started doing that because my whole ear was pierced at one
Oh,
point.
yeah.
And so
Oh
I
my
had
God,
to
that
make
hurts
a
so bad.
little nook for my ear every single night.
And now it's
and
just-
now I have to sleep that way.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
That hurts so bad. Like I,
I
can
know,
feel it.
it's-
I hate it.
It was
Yeah.
like a new pierce, like a new full
Yeah, it
ear
was like-
pierce.
mhm.
You did it all in one sitting?
No, but I did them all pretty quickly.
Yeah. Because they stay sore for like a
Yeah.
Decent
And then like
period of
you
time.
can't take them out.
right.
So you just have the backs sticking into
Yeah.
your head.
I know I double piercing. I have like a scab, like a scar behind my ear because of like it just sleeping hard on it
Yeah.
and like stabbing into my head.
Yeah.
Do you guys get those things where it's like a little ball? on
Yeah.
your- Yeah.
What?
So, like it's what is it? Like, it's called something. It's like calcium or something build up in your ear, and it feels like a little ball.
It's like almost seems like a zit inside your ear hole or something.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think I
I'm
ever
trying to
got
see if I
that.
have one. I think there's a little one right now, but I think it's from getting piercings. It's like I got my ears pierced in 8th grade, and then I let them close, and then I didn't do it again until like sophomore year. And then I got them
Oh.
double pierced, and then I got up here pierced, and every single time they just like hurt and get infected.
That is interesting.
I don't know why. I want to have them all pierced. I love it up here.
I know. I want one. I want like 2 on the side.
Victoria Paris always wears ear jewelry, but she doesn't have ear piercings,
Yeah.
which is cool. Like how she finds so many
I've tried that. I feel like they come off, or like it kind of
Yeah.
hurts when they are just like the pinchy ones.
Yeah.
She has like ear cuffs that she has that like
Yeah.
wrap.
Yeah.
That is cute. I want to like accessorize more. It makes such a
Mhm.
difference.
I know. It's so fun too.
Yeah. I know she does a really good job of like showing the different jewelry and like how to stack it and make it look
Mhm.
interesting.
Because once you get like a bunch of accessories, then you can just use that for all your outfits.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we went out last night. It was kind of a fail at first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it ended up being fun. It's like when we're together, it doesn't really matter where we go.
Yeah.
Cute. Evan being sentimental.
But I do want to be able to go downtown Palm Springs tonight.
I know.
Just
We
'cause I
like have
wanna
not
explore it.
explored whatsoever.
Yeah.
But we saw it.
The TV, we're not great with the timing.
I know everything takes longer than we expect. Like getting ready
significantly
takes longer. Podcast, like setting up everything takes longer. Like, yeah.
We're learning that we need a longer trip prom next time.
Yeah.
But that's okay. We did it. Like we made it happen. So that's just cool.
I know. Step one. Last night though, I'm wondering if other people feel this, where like we went to a restaurant, we were like not super committed or like
Yeah, we're
excited
let's
about it.
go
It was
to
just
a
like, okay,
random
let's go to this restaurant. It had good reviews, looked cute. And then the second we got there, they're like, well, we probably can't see you. We like, you probably can't come in. And
Waits an hour and a half.
waits an hour and a half. Like
and you have to stay there and wait. You can't like put
Yeah.
your name in and be like, we'll
It
be
does
back.
suck though, because like in situations like that, it could just be 30 minutes. Like they
Yeah.
definitely give a higher
yeah.
time, but like
But he was really realistic. It was actually really nice. He was like,
Yeah.
all of the people are on apps right now, so it's probably gonna be
yeah.
a
And we were
longer time.
starved because
Yeah.
it took us all day to leave the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were intending on going out day drinking.
Oh yeah. Oh
we
yeah.
didn't
At
get
like 11
anywhere
a.m.
until after the sunset. Like, so yeah.
It's not great time management, but that's okay.
No. But then the second he was like, the wait and like it's gonna be a long time and we don't have reservations for tomorrow, all of us were like, we have to be here. We need this restaurant.
It's like a
And
rejection.
then it had a door closing, like blocking it, so it was kind of like, ooh, like
Yeah,
let
we
me
couldn't even
sneak
like,
in.
and they would like open up the door and be like,
Just slightly
"Ooh,
peeking in.
what's going on in there? Like, what are we missing out on?"
Well, it's like when you like a boy and he doesn't like you back, and you're like, now you really, or no,
But
you
if you
don't
didn't
like
care.
him. You didn't like him, but
Right.
then like he rejects you, and then you're like, oh no, I really like
I
him.
love him.
I need him.
I love the saying when it's like, I need him biblically.
No,
Yeah.
I've not heard that. That's really
It's so
funny. I like that.
Yeah, so then the guy, he recommended us a steakhouse that we could just walk to quickly.
Yeah.
So we did a little walkie. It was very cute,
It was
romantic vibes.
fancy as fuck.
We were seated
Like,
at a 2-person table. So me and Dev did some snuggles.
I don't think I've ever spent $100 on myself for dinner.
Oh yeah, it was extremely
I'm
expensive.
really proud of you for that.
Although
though.
our drinks were on happy hour. Our drinks were the cheapest fucking thing.
yeah.
My drink was cheaper than the salad or the mac and cheese.
We definitely did not anticipate spending like going to a steakhouse
Yeah.
and like buying steaks.
Also, the salad was double the price of the mac and cheese.
Was it really?
For my 2 leaves of lettuce.
That's ridiculous.
Maybe it's because it came with a bunch of other stuff that I took off.
I will never stop thinking about those Brussels sprouts.
Those were so good.
Did
I
it
think
have
they
like
were, like-
balsamic
yeah.
on it or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah, so it was like salty and sweet and sour at the same time. And
Yeah.
they were like cooked perfectly, like crispy.
I
Oh
hate,
my
but they like, you know, in some restaurants they do too crispy where they're like almost burnt. Like
I
a lot
like
of
my
the,
shit burnt. Like when I cook myself veggies, I burn that shit. That's how I
I like
it.
veggies more.
That's
crisp.
very interesting.
Or steamed.
I don't think that's like the correct way to cook veggies. So
Joe
I
like
think it's kind of
Joe's
embarrassing.
similar
but-
though.
Especially
like
like broccoli.
Asparagus,
Yeah.
he likes it like crispy and burnt. And
Yeah, I want
like,
it to be very soft, and you know, you take a bite and it just like ashes, like, you know, just like breaks off in your mouth and just like
I don't know about
disintegrates because it's
that.
burnt. I'm just,
I've never had a
Kidding.
Brussels sprout or an asparagus.
oh my god,
Really?
Brussels sprouts are so fucking good because they just hold in so much flavor.
They look so like thick.
I don't like. Yeah, I like them smaller, and I like the when the leaves fall off and then you just eat all the leaves. That's the best part.
I think we'd be a good
Interesting.
match then because I like more of the chunkiness of
Oh,
it. So
so
I can
I
give you all the
can-
leaves and I'll
all
take the
Yeah,
meat.
And then they also split mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
that Britt said she didn't like. She told the waiter
The
she
waitress
didn't like
comes up,
it.
she goes, "These were very dry."
These were very dry.
But
Okay,
it just
I'll
so
take them off
shows
the
the
bill.
difference like of our personalities. Like I love it so much because it's teaching me to literally just speak your mind and say things. Like they took the mashed potatoes off the bill.
Yeah, it's okay to say it.
Mhm.
And I was like, she didn't cook them. Like, she's not going to be
Yeah.
Yeah,
offended.
that's true.
She might be a little annoyed that she has to remove it from the bill. But
as a server, the only like negative is like because if your tip goes down, if the cost of the whole
Yeah.
meal goes down slightly. But as long as you don't do that.
It's one of those things though, like if you're gonna pay for a specific thing, like you order the thing and it's supposed to be prepared a certain way.
Yeah, they were like supposed to be like creamy.
It's supposed to be like the
what was it called?
creamy, like
Gratine?
Mussolini.
Mussolini.
which makes you think it's going to be like a mousse potato.
Yeah, and I looked it up and it describes it exactly as a mousse. Like
Mhm.
it's supposed to be very buttery, like melt in your mouth, and it like cracked.
Imagine if it would have been buttery. Like,
Oh my god, it would have been
so
incredible.
fucking
I didn't
good.
even eat mine. You ate yours a little bit, but then
But
there was
I had to add it to my steak. Like, I couldn't eat it
Yeah.
alone. I was like eating it with the steak,
yeah.
which is disappointing because I love mashed potatoes.
I know, me too. I was like really like excited about it,
So I had to
especially
drink them with a straw. was
I
like, hell
know.
yeah.
Well, I also really like having like a very creamy potato and then adding it to a bite of steak. Like
Mhm.
the combination.
It's almost
is
like
just,
making it the condiment, like it's the sauce.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it did not serve that way. So
I think I want to do steak for Thanksgiving or something.
That'd be fun.
are you guys doing steak or Thanksgiving at your
Yeah, we're just doing
staying at home?
just doing us.
Do you guys usually just do Thanksgiving with you guys?
We were like switching between Christmas or Thanksgiving to go to Arizona, but then COVID and stuff. So now we're just gonna do Christmas.
Does it not like make it easier if you like spend an entire holiday with Cam's family and like entire holiday with your family?
That'd be really interesting because it's like if we just went to Arizona and only hung out with his family or only that would be nice.
kind of
like it would be relaxing.
Yeah, I kind of forget that but I feel like that's actually kind of like maybe you could see your family like one day out of the Thanksgiving, but like it might be kind of nice to like just dedicate the entire time.
Because the last time we did it like one day per family type of thing. And they're all across town. My mom's in a corner over here, and then 30 minutes away is my dad's house, and then 40 minutes up is Cam's parents' house. So it's like the last time we did Thanksgiving, we were literally driving around all day.
I had no idea Tucson was that big.
Yeah. Like, we live on complete opposite sides of town. Like when Cameron first came to my mom's house, he's like, I didn't know that streets went this far this way.
Wow.
And also, Cameron's parents are together, right?
Yeah.
So like for Thanksgiving, you guys could just see.
But then his aunt lives in Phoenix, so they do, and like his cousins. So then they also do things in Phoenix. So like we're gonna go up there for a day.
Yeah. But I mean, it's like with Cam's family, so it's like you can kind of dedicate the entire time.
Is really smart.
That's what we do. We switch off. Like, so this year, Thanksgiving is with Joe's family, and then Christmas is my family, and then next year we'll flip.
That just makes it so much easier when it's in separate places.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, like I couldn't do that because my parents live 10 minutes away from each other, but it's still
it's like you have to tell them like, yeah, because like what if on Christmas, because you hate that, like of feeling like, oh, we
having
need
to
to
be
go
like,
to
oh,
the
we have
next
to
house
leave,
now?
yeah.
What if you literally were like, I'm staying here all day, and then tomorrow we're pretending like it's Christmas again,
Yeah.
and I'm only gonna go to my mom's or something.
But then I'd be forcing a whole side of my family to like do a pretend Christmas for me, you know.
You also have like the other side of your
Yeah,
family, which
there's
is
more
tough. Like it's
people.
not just like you and your sister.
Yeah.
You're like going to.
Yeah. I just deal with it.
Yeah, but sometimes like I think my mom says sometimes that she would enjoy that more because then it's like she still gets more time, even if it's like not the actual holiday,
Yeah.
because we're still doing the same activities or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. But then so the steakhouse had a speakeasy, so then we went to the speakeasy.
Yeah. That was really
very
good.
cute.
Got
There was
really
an
fancy
outside patio.
cocktails.
Yeah, Britt ordered us cocktails because I was just gonna get a vodka lemonade, and she was like, "Absolutely not."
It's like,
Wait, so what was it called? What did we get? It was really good.
I don't know. The first one we got was in a martini glass, and the mixologist like was spraying flavor on top of it, like, it
Like
was
an absinthe.
I did not
fancy.
see that,
Yeah.
and it had a little rosebud in it. It was
Yeah.
so cute.
I forgot the name of it. I'd have to look it up on the menu.
And then the second one was really good too, but it wasn't as
Yeah.
fancy.
It was off
They were
menu.
both good.
She just made it for you guys.
Wow.
If it's a good cocktail bar, you can kind of tell them like the flavors that you like and the liquor. So you'd like pick a liquor and like the flavor profile. So if you're like, I don't want anything bitter, or I want something like light but not too sweet, or like fruity but not too sweet. And then most bartenders have just like a lot of things like in their brain and then
would
they
be
can make
scared
things up.
to be a bartender like that.
It's more fun for them sometimes.
Yeah, but like if it's shitty, like just waiting for the person to try it to be like, oh, is it good?
It reminds me of when
like
people go to
cooking.
Starbucks and say, make me your favorite drink. And then the barista's like
What the
an
fuck?
Americano. Like,
Well, that's the thing is, that's why I'm not like, what is your favorite cocktail? I'm like, I like gin and I don't like Campari, so don't put Campari in it. Like, I
I don't
don't.
even know what the fuck Campari is.
It's just a very bitter.
Oh, what was that other thing that was in it? In your drink? Green. Some type of
Oh,
alcohol.
green chartreuse.
Like, what the fuck
And I
is
like green
that?
chartreuse, so I could tell them like,
Where is
I
it
love,
from?
France.
Yeah.
That's the monks in France make it.
I
There's
didn't
like,
even
it's
know there
like
was monks in France.
Neither did I. This is all the information from Joe.
Interesting. Monks are so interesting to me.
Yeah. Well, it's like, do you know Jay Shetty?
Mm-hmm.
I think
That's
it's
really
so
crazy.
interesting that he was a monk for a while.
I would love to read that book or listen to the audiobook probably.
Yeah.
Which one?
Think Like a Monk.
Oh, yeah.
It's his book. Because there's a lot of like practices that they do that are supposed to be so helpful for your mind and everything.
Yeah.
He still like meditates an hour a day.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
Yeah, I don't have the time for that. But obviously I don't prioritize it.
Right.
Because I have the time to scroll on TikTok for an hour a day.
Yeah.
It's meditation.
It's true.
I think meditation does help so much.
It's hard to get in the practice of it.
It is.
Just like sitting with your own thoughts for like 5 minutes.
I used to do like the Headspace has like a
Oh, yeah. I've heard
6-week
really
thing
good
or
things about
something,
that.
and like you can do programs and it literally teaches you how to meditate. Because I was very confused at first of like you're supposed to have no thoughts, but then like
Yeah.
obviously you have thoughts.
Yeah.
So how do you like push them away? But then I realized that's kind of the point of it.
It's also, meditation is very much just like controlling your thoughts. So like for me, a lot of times to meditate, if I'm really anxious, I will just start making up a story in my head and I'll just focus on that
Just a random
story.
fictional story. Like
And it helps me
Goldilocks?
fall asleep.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah. But
Which
it's just
one
like
you
a
thought of?
focused thought process. And I'm not letting all those crazy thoughts in because I'm just focusing on
Creating
a story in my head. Yeah.
I think that's why I like listening to podcasts, because it's like as I'm going to sleep, I'm then
Yeah.
just thinking of that conversation and not my own thoughts.
Yeah.
Does it not like spark a lot of other thoughts or like ideas?
Sometimes.
But you're
Mhm.
not supposed to be thinking about, oh, tomorrow I need to do the laundry.
Yeah, like,
it's
that's what I
supposed to be
wanna-
very a focused
Oh.
thought process. Or like how people are like, imagine yourself walking on the beach. I'm basically doing that, but it can't just be walking on the beach. It needs to be more,
You're walking on the beach to go get coffee too.
yeah, like a
That makes
story
sense.
that keep my attention, I guess.
Interesting.
And then eventually you just kind of fall asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I feel like meditating in the morning, like right when you wake up,
Yeah.
would be great because it would probably really set the day
Right.
to be like just to control your thoughts and not send yourself down whatever negative thought patterns you're having.
You know, one person was talking about like morning routines and things, and they had a really good perspective on this, that because you know, like there's so many different morning routines or like things to do to start your day. People are like, you should do this and you should do this and whatever. And everyone's like
as soon
saying,
as you wake up, walk outside.
yeah, like,
Or like
get the
don't look at your
sunlight.
phone for the first 2 hours.
Yeah, like a million things. But she had a really good perspective on it where it's like, it doesn't really matter what you're doing. The goal is just to like activate yourself to like be excited for like what you're doing for the day and like be into it. Versus,
Yeah.
so like whatever that is that you need to do to like help set up for the day. And I thought that was so interesting because that means it can change, because there's going to be certain times where like a walk is going to be really activating. You can like start to get in the process of it.
That's what I like. I feel like you almost need different morning routines based on your activities of that day. Like
Yeah.
of how you have like call days versus whatever days. Like having different morning routines for each of those types of days makes a difference.
Yeah. Because like we've talked about how sometimes you guys especially are more motivated and productive in the morning. So you get up and you have to just start working instead of like going on a walk and meditating and reading a book.
Yeah. But I also, it's such a hard balance because those things help make me more focused throughout the day. So if I'm able to do like a workout and then journal,
Yeah.
Yeah, then it helps like
it helps.
I think it just depends on what you have going on for the day too.
Have you heard that phrase like eat the frog or something?
Yeah.
No.
Where it's like
Do
the hardest thing first. And that's kind of what I am bad at. Like I am more concentrated and I'll start working first. But like when I put off the most important thing till the afternoon, then I'm like, oh fuck, I should have done that in the morning.
Yeah. Where does that originate? What does that even mean?
Idea.
Eat the frog.
I forgot. I think it's a book, right?
I literally
About
have no
eating
idea.
frogs?
No,
There's so
it's
many
just
weird phrases.
It's just a saying.
Well, we asked you guys for a bunch of questions, so we're gonna answer some of your questions and advice. Are you pulling it up?
No, she's looking up the frogs.
Okay. I shall pull it up. I do wonder where it came from. There's so many weird phrases. Like think of all the Hannah Montana ones. That's always what I think of when I think of phrases.
It's the phrase. That's not even real. The eat the frog thing's not necessarily a phrase. I don't think. I think it's just like a philosophy of working.
Holy shit, we have 70 responses now. Okay, Dev's followers coming in clutch.
Y'all are the greatest. Okay, it's nothing is telling me where the fuck this even originated from. It's just like Mark Twain once said, "Eat the frog first."
It's so
like,
funny
what
if
the
quotes like that
fuck?
because it's like, who the fuck knows what Mark Twain said?
Like, why?
Like all
It
these
makes
quotes
no
from
sense to
really
me.
old people. Not old, but like.
Mark Twain once said that if the first thing you do each morning is eat a live frog, you can go through the day with the satisfaction of knowing that it is probably the worst thing that's going to happen all day. In reality, your frog is the most important task. So eat the frog is another way of saying, okay, but I don't know why I guess they just popped in his head and now it's a thing. I could have said, eat the llama. If that's the hardest thing you have to do
Have you
today,
guys ever
then do it
eaten
now.
frogs?
No.
Frog legs, not frogs. Fried frog legs. Just tastes like chicken.
Yeah, I'm sure. That's what's weird about eating animals. Like, I would, in theory, I'd rather eat a frog than a cow. Do you know what I mean? Like, because a cow's like a dog.
Yeah.
Like, a frog's like an insect almost.
cow's
Like, I'd rather have a frog die than a cow.
Is it an amphibian?
Well, I know it's not an insect. I just meant it's more in the category of an
Would you
insect
ever
than
eat
like
it?
a foal.
Would you ever eat like a cricket or an insect?
I think I have eaten a cricket.
Oh.
But one of those like dried ones.
Yeah.
Not good.
You don't like it?
No.
I've never eaten one. I don't think I can do it.
You know what I don't understand? You know, there's like lollipops. Maybe you don't have that.
With
where there's like a
scorpions
scorpion in it. Yeah,
But people
that's
don't
so
eat the
interesting.
scorpion, do they?
No, but that's what I don't understand. Like, you're supposed to lick the
Wait.
lollipop like till it gets there. Or there's like a cricket, but scorpion's like the most popular probably.
Do you eat the scorpion?
I don't know. I've
I'm
never
sure
had
you can.
one.
I wouldn't though.
But it's like pretty popular in any like souvenir shop that you would go to in the desert.
In Phoenix?
And anywhere in Arizona.
Wow.
Interesting. Okay.
Very.
This one is kind of a long one.
Okay.
I'm 28 and most of my friends, some are which a few years older, are starting to move away and settle down with their partners, get married, or have already gotten married and are starting to have kids. While I'm happy for them, a spouse and kids isn't what I want for my own life, and it's starting to make me feel sad. I feel like my friends are leaving me behind, and eventually I'll be the one left out in the cold, especially because people want to stop hanging out with me once they are married with kids. Most of the time, I'm pretty happy with my life. I have hobbies I love, and as an introvert, I'm learning how to love hanging out by myself. Thanks, Devin. And I've made some serious strides this year when it comes to that. However, every time I hear from a friend that she's pregnant or moving away or getting married, I get a bit depressed. It makes me feel like I should sacrifice my own values and eventually get married and have kids, even though I don't really want to. Do you have any advice? Thanks.
I feel like this always goes back to like the comparison and like the societal standards that you feel like you need to live up to. And that's something I struggle with too.
I feel like a lot of our listeners struggled with this. Like, I feel like we get similar types of questions all the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's so interesting because isolated, if you like think about the situation isolated, you're like, I can live my life and be happy and be good. And that's like what I think about even just like from a kid's perspective. I don't really want to have kids, but then like putting myself in like situations or like surrounding myself with people that are excited about kids, or it's like the norm for them. Like the question is like, when are you going to have kids? When do you want to have kids? How many kids do you want to have? It's not a matter of like, do you want to have kids? I think there's just like, so isolated, you're like, okay, I feel good. Like this is an awesome decision for me. This feels good for me. But then the second you put yourself like, not even, I feel like it doesn't even have to be a comparison thing. It's just like in society, it's just such a natural like you are going to have a partner and you are going to have kids.
Mhm.
And that's when I start feeling weird about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like no matter if, you know, if she doesn't really want a partner or kids, then you now have kind of that double what's wrong with you
Mm-hmm.
thing coming from society.
I think it's also like specifically this time in your life,
Yeah.
in that late 20s, early 20s type of period, you'll have friends who are already married and divorced, friends with kids, friends who are getting
Yeah.
married, friends moving, all the different things. And then probably like in your 40s, it's more like settled, because then the people who have
You're
families have
right.
families, or if you don't have kids, then you're still like involved in the friend group type of thing. Like my mom has friends that didn't have kids or had kids way later,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but once they were all older, it was just like,
Yeah, it's like your
normal.
internal clock's ticking. When are you going to get married and have kids?
Yeah.
You have to.
but
now
then
if
once you're
going
past
to.
it, also people probably stop asking you, maybe.
Mhm.
'Cause then that's just awkward at a certain point.
You're so
Then
right.
maybe like, oh, you're 36, I'll just stop asking.
Yeah. I also think it's like important to find other people that are of similar minds to you.
Yeah.
Like finding your group of people that really get you, because then you have people to relate to and have those conversations with. You don't feel so isolated and alone with it.
Right.
And I think you can also start to appreciate your friendships that, you know, they're going to have kids, they're going to get married, and you can feel just more confident in yourself and your decisions and everything.
Yeah, and that's the difference between adult friendships and childhood friendships, I think, because like all the adult friendships I've made, they're usually older. Like you guys and my best friend Catherine are older, but I feel like it's because I'm more at that place in life, kind of.
Yeah. I also think too, if you can like weed out the friends that are just not like going to support you, if they're like really focused on having kids or really focused on their relationship and they're not going to like appreciate you for you, that probably not worth like holding on to.
Yeah.
I think the fact that she's working on herself and working on enjoying spending time alone and accepting herself for being an introvert and all that, I think that's a great step, because like I'm the same way. Also, like the past few years, I haven't cared about dating. Like that's not something that isn't of interest to me, but it seems like every single other person cares about it. So then I'm like, what's wrong with me? Why?
Right.
And they're like, oh, are you dating? Are you dating? Why aren't you dating? It's like, because I don't really want to. But then you start feeling like there's something wrong with you because everybody else cares about this thing that you don't care about. And you're like, well, something's wrong. Like I'm broken.
That can be like any situation, because that could be even just about like sex specifically or things like that, where you feel like, wait, does everybody else want to do these things and I don't?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think learning what you actually want versus what society wants from you, and sticking to that and not trying to let the input and comparison and all those things swirling around actually affect you.
Yeah. Like we were talking about work last night too, of just different jobs. And it's like, if society thinks that you need to be at this certain job or this certain place, but you're happy with the way, like if you just fully in your own mind feel happy with your life and the things, then it doesn't matter if other people want you to be living a different life.
Exactly.
Right.
Advice for standing up for yourself / being honest about your feelings when someone says something triggering. For context, my boyfriend was in an accident this year. Thankfully, he's better now. But his friends and family like to joke around. They often make jokes about the accident or jokes about us living in a small studio apartment. I find this triggering because I was with him right after the accident and all the brutal recovery process. We live solely off my income for 4 months, which is why we can't afford a bigger / nicer apartment like they all have. I think a lot of people use humor to deal with trauma and uncomfortable situations, but I don't expect everyone to think about how I will feel before words come out of their mouth, but it's gotten to the point where I dread hanging out with them because I fear someone will say something triggering and I'll shut down. It makes me sad because before the accident, I got along great with everyone, but now I often withdraw from conversations with them when we see them. Going into the holidays, where there will be a lot of gatherings, do you have any advice for speaking up for yourself / protecting your mental health / boundaries? P.S. I am in therapy for all of this, but I just thought it would be nice to hear your thoughts too. Haha. I think we all struggle sometimes with holiday gatherings, especially if you have anxiety like me, so any advice or thoughts on not spiraling in tough social situations would be awesome.
Is that the full question, or is that the holiday thing is?
No, that's the full question.
Okay.
She just did a PS.
I wonder
have to
if
read the full thing.
she has told anyone in these situations.
I would say no.
Because like if you're able to like reach out to your sister or someone that you're closer with, even like a text message being like, it hurts my feelings when you guys talk about this. Like, can you tell everyone not like help me get everyone to not bring up this stuff?
Yeah.
Does it also depend? Because it says his friends and family, not hers. So I almost wonder if it has to be him saying something.
maybe.
Yeah, that's a really good idea to like ask for his support.
Yeah.
Maybe also like I don't know if she's had a conversation with him about it. Like, does
Yeah,
he
does it
know
bother
that
him?
or does he know how triggering it is
Yeah.
for her?
Yeah. Because like Cameron and I have a rule where like if there's anything with either of our families, like we handle it with our own family. I'm not going to his parents. He's not going to mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it would be good to talk to him about it and just like be on the same page, because then he might, like you said, he might have a closer relationship with like his sister or his mom or something.
And like maybe being able to beforehand like let people know that you don't like this, rather than having to be in the situation and then having to stand up for yourself and like then it's awkward in front of people and it makes like everybody uncomfortable, like, you know.
Yeah, like having a plan with your boyfriend beforehand, talk to him about it, and then be like, okay, at the holidays, if they didn't talk to them before, but maybe you should just talk to the family before, but if you didn't and you only talk to him, then you can make a plan like, okay, if anybody says these certain things, I want you to say something, or like pull somebody aside and say something.
Yeah. I'd also, because she's in therapy for it too, they probably have some maybe tools to just broach the subject, or like things to say where it kind of diffuses the situation where you're not.
I think people probably don't realize that was very traumatic for her also. Like,
that's very, like the comments about the apartment and stuff. Like that's so fucking annoying.
Yeah. That would be really
it's like
hard.
Passive aggressive, and like people, I feel like people don't say that on accident. Like people are saying that in a passive aggressive way to make you feel bad for not.
But do they even know that it's like her? Like maybe they're just making fun of him. Like, oh, like you haven't been able to work. You're recovering. Like,
yeah,
that's so
and
horrible. But
they don't, because like I was telling you guys yesterday that my love language is like teasing people.
Yeah,
because that's how my family was, and I grew up that, and I like that. Like but to an extent.
Yeah.
Like, because they might not know that they're teasing them about something that's actually a sensitive subject to her. So like, yeah, like sometimes I can tease you guys about things that like you're not actually insecure about. But then if you hit a nerve, then it's like, no, actually, I don't like that. And maybe practicing speaking up for yourself and saying like, I don't really like when you talk about that.
Yeah.
Like you have
even
to kind of practice
like,
and do it, and then you'll get more comfortable.
Or I'm a big fan of text messages.
Yeah, me
like,
too.
Just
that's why I was
them.
saying like send a text message or an email or something, you know, like depending on how deep your feelings are, you can always just send an email, or like writing it down.
Yeah.
Writing your thoughts down and then practicing conveying it.
Like I could not do something like that in person at all.
Yeah. God, it gets so awkward. You just like smile and laugh and like, I don't know.
I also think the second part of like the holiday thing is something that like we actually said that yesterday, right? So we want to do like an episode on handling the holidays. But I think like high level, definitely like giving yourself space around the holidays.
Way closer. Or is it fine? You guys hear it, so I don't know.
Is it okay if I'm here or here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
I can't hear, so I don't know.
I don't know. I think giving yourself space around the holidays, like not having to go, like even like for us, like when we go to wherever for the holidays, Joe and I like will do like specific walks by ourselves, or like we'll go get coffee or do different things like that.
I think you guys are really good about that.
Yeah.
Me and Kim are not as good about that, because it's like we were saying earlier, like I get more anxious to go with my family than I have been on this trip, and I'm like trying to inspect why.
But I think because like something people that we talk about.
We talk about before, and we tell our family before we go.
The plans. Like you'll say this day we're like, only hanging out with just us.
Or no, we're just like, hey, we're probably going to go get coffee a couple times by ourselves. Like Christmas Eve, like we now go in, me and Joe will like ride downtown Austin and go get cocktails before dinner. Like it's just kind of like our alone time. It's our tradition now.
Yeah.
And so there's just like little things like that, because it actually was at ACL, I think my sister and her husband needed that, but they didn't communicate that with everybody. So it felt kind of awkward, or not awkward, but we were like offended, and probably I was like reflecting, I was like, we probably shouldn't have been offended
because they went off.
Yeah. Or like they were like, we need to go do this, or like we're gonna go do this. And
well, I would be offended if my cousin was like, me and Sam are gonna go, well, if they went on a hike or something, I'd be like, yeah, cool, peace out.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, if they're like, we're going to go out to dinner together, we're going to go get lunch and not invite me and be like, what, you hate me?
Yeah.
But like the way that I'm an introvert and my cousin knows that I like to have alone time. Like if you understand each other and you are transparent about your needs, then your family is fine with you.
Yeah.
But if you just randomly were like, peace out.
Because they had never really done that before. They had never like gone and done like separate things. Like they went like on a walk separately. They like went and which is like completely fine. But I think it's good to just like kind of give people heads up like, hey, we're going to do a few things just like on our own during the trip just to like have some decompression time, like alone time. Not like alone time, but you know.
Yeah, just separate time. That's very weird. It's Cameron's family, I think, is teaching me a lot about that because when we went in March, we were staying with his family, and it's very much just like, oh, we're gonna go get food. We're leaving the house right now. Oh, we're gonna go for a walk and leave the house right now. And he's just comfortable doing that. But like, there's no way that I could do that at my dad's house. Like, I'm like, I'm just gonna go for a walk. No, my brother and sister would be like, no, like we're coming with you.
Yeah, why aren't we invited?
What if you talk to them beforehand? You're like, hey, I need this walk by myself because it helps me.
I think then they'd want me to stay longer, or I would feel like I would need to stay longer because then I'm like, oh, I'm coming on this trip. That's why I go for so short because I'm like, I can only handle 3 days because it's 3 days straight of no breaks besides when I'm sleeping, and sometimes it's not even when I'm sleeping.
You should send
sometimes
them
I'm
this
sleeping.
podcast
You're
episode.
like so anxious. That would drive me nuts.
Yeah, like the only time my mom is the only one who like understands me, and my mom is like, okay, you go have your alone time, even though she like wants me so bad, she understands.
Yeah. Well, maybe she could help communicate that to your brother and sister.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I think just like communicating with your boyfriend first will help a lot. Do you want
What?
Somebody did it? What's the best way to ask Devin on a super chill, fun first date? We knew that was gonna happen.
Shoot your shot, and if I ignore you, then
It's a no.
AKA you're being ignored, kind of.
also like I feel like so many people that person probably doesn't live in Phoenix, so it's like, what do you?
If you live in Phoenix,
if you fly to me,
no, that
that
would
be
way
too
much.
Weird. Oh my god! Imagine somebody was like, I flew out to see you.
Yeah, that would be.
What if they think she's the one?
You know, that's
a
like
parasocial
me
relationship.
That's like me thinking that Robert Pattinson is the one.
But it could also
I mean,
be.
not at the same level, but like, yeah, it's like
one of my friends is with her boyfriend because of social media. They like lived in different states.
Also, Ben from The Bachelor, he saw his now wife like he was looking at like a hotel page and then saw her picture and then like ended up messaging her because
okay, if you're really hot, because I have high.
Yikes.
But
apologies.
Your hot is different than my hot.
Yeah.
So it's all subjective.
So if you have a mullet.
No, but I think I don't like the subjective type of hot. I like the objective type of hot.
What does that mean?
But I don't know if I like your hot. Like, I don't know if our hots are the same.
You don't find Ryan Gosling attractive?
Did you show her that guy?
Oh, yeah, I didn't show you. I'll show you later.
That's objectively hot. But I think me and Dev like more like artsy, feminine men.
Yeah.
But tall.
Yeah, not short. I don't think Britt likes short men.
No, I think that's been my problem.
He's like 6'3" and up.
Yeah.
I think that's really been my problem because like dating on
Shortness?
apps, I've been dating like short guys and I just like am not into it.
Wait,
But I'm like,
like
well,
when
you're
you go out on
nice
a date with them?
Mm-hmm.
Do they say the height ahead of time?
Yeah, but it's like this is my only like
height is so weird because it's like
I don't swipe whatever the way is that you don't want to talk to them if they're short.
Yeah,
but then once I get
either.
to it, I'm like, why am I not actually attracted to this person? Oh, I think it's because they're not tall enough.
That's really interesting because it's like height is important, but then at the same time, like what if you had like it was someone 1 inch below or something and then you like pass up on them, but they're like the right person.
Yeah, but we've talked about this, but like I feel like I haven't had that immediate attraction in such a long time. And that's what's important to me right now. Like, because if I'm not drawn to you right away, then I am not going to have the motivation to want to get out of my comfort zone to spend time with you. And I think the height thing is really what's...
My first middle school boyfriend was
thing.
like a little shorter than me, and then my first high school boyfriend was 5'8", and I'm 5'5". I was probably 5'4" at the time.
Yeah, 5'8" is just not.
Yeah.
It's not going to be that like I'm attracted to you thing. Like maybe
No. You're 5'7".
I'm trying
I feel
to be
like
thrown
6
around.
feet is like minimum.
Yeah, all the guys that I was obsessed with in high school and middle school were all tall.
Yeah.
It's so interesting though, because like if a guy was like, I only want 5'3" or below, or like that would be weird.
That's just what I'm saying.
I
I'm
wonder if
attracted
guys-
to. There's
yeah.
nothing I can do or change
Yeah.
in my brain that makes me attracted to
I
that. You
know.
know,
No,
I know.
like you know that like Abby Herbert girl.
I think so.
She's like at least 6 something, and he's a little tiny man.
Oh yeah,
It's just very interesting because they're very confident about it, and I feel like when you do have like the full confidence, then
Yeah.
it's like fine. But I don't think I could have that. Full
Yeah, I'm not like
confidence.
saying like, oh, ew, there's something wrong with you because you're short. It's
Yeah,
just
no,
like
no.
mentally, I'm attracted initially
Yeah.
to people who are tall.
How do you get over being scared you're getting older? I'm in my late 20s, and I worry so much about this.
You don't. It's
I feel like
horrible.
you almost have to like transition your mind to think like it's a blessing to get older. But that's hard, obviously.
I've gone back and forth on this a lot. Like when I turned 26, I had a meltdown.
I think I'm going to.
But then the last couple of years, I was like, okay. And this year, I just like really embraced like all the things that were gonna come. Because I think every year, like there's just so many different opportunities and like different perspectives you get as you get older.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like don't you feel smarter, better every year?
Yeah.
I kind of try not to think too much about it because age is just a number at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then also like being able to joke about it and talk about it with other people.
Yeah.
Like having
Mhm.
friends that are your age and just, you know, being able or role models that are your age or whatever and being able to look up to them. And it's nice not feeling alone.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
if I were the only one here getting gray hairs in my head, like, you
Yeah.
know, that makes me feel bad. But then Britt is like, oh yeah, I have gray hairs too. So like, it just makes me feel, oh, it's normal. It's fine. You know, like me and Britt both get Botox. Like, yeah, it just.
I'm frozen. I'm like so shocked right now. Can you tell?
I think being able to relate to people on it helps, makes it more fun and less scary.
I've also listened to like a lot of podcasts and people that like embrace their age and embrace getting older and embrace being like in their 30s or like in their 40s. Like Tinks is someone who talks a lot about being in her 30s and like she's single and she's just like living her life. And the world's first podcast with Sarah and Aaron Foster, they talk about how like their 40s is like the dream. And so like hearing those perspectives, I'm like, oh, like,
don't you feel like you've always heard that too? Like I remember being little and people would always say like your 30s are you feel so much better, and then your 40s you feel even better.
But like just hearing that colloquially, like just around people, like, do you know, like your mom saying that, or you know, you just like hear that from like some older people that are like in their 50s, like or 60s. I'm like, I'm not sure about that. But now like hearing it from somebody like I am interested in, and like,
yeah, exactly.
I'm like, oh,
being surrounding
cool.
yourself with that, because when you're like on TikTok and surrounding yourself with kids who are 21 and like watching them and being like, oh my God, this 23-year-old is so successful on TikTok. And like also a lot of Gen Z people on TikTok are like, oh, you're 27 is so old, you know, and then it like starts making you feel like shit.
Yeah.
Whereas being around people who are like, I'm only 32 and I'm so young, you know, like it changes.
I think like you also, as you get older, there are just like so many things. Maybe it's like the priorities shifting a little bit, where like you can just embrace life in a different way and enjoy it more.
Yeah. And you have like the proof within yourself. Like when I was 18 or 17 or 19, like I thought that was like my peak of like I'm the prettiest I'll ever be. I'm the like having the most fun I'll ever have. And then like I feel like I've gotten prettier and feel better about myself. I'm way more confident. Like all these things just keep getting better.
Yeah.
And usually when you see people like when we were young, it's usually people in their 30s or 40s where we're like, oh, they're gorgeous. Like that's a woman. Like
I know Kim Kardashian just keeps getting better too.
My God.
All of these people are older and gorgeous.
But also it might be a deeper rooted fear of like, dying and everybody else. Like that is also why I can't really think about it, because like I get sad. Like my brother and sister getting older and my mom and dad getting older and that type of stuff. I can't really think too much about it. You got to kind of like.
We were saying like our parents still feel like in their 40s in our heads.
Yeah.
Yeah, like my dad just turned 60 and it's like, oh my God.
Yeah,
like
same.
I'm telling people my dad's 60. I remember when my grandma was 60.
Literally.
I remember
same.
when I was little and I first started learning people's ages, my
Mhm.
grandma was 53.
Yeah.
Really?
Like my mom's older than that now. Like that's so
That
weird
is
to me.
so weird.
That is weird.
And then your parents get nostalgic and sad about it and you feel bad for them, especially if you're a people pleaser. So I'm like,
Also, being the youngest is a really weird feeling because my siblings are so much older than me that I'm like, I'm going to be alone at some point. Like, my siblings are most likely going to pass before me. And
I don't
really
like that.
sad.
Yeah, I don't. I
really
tell
don't like
Logan that's not true.
That's what my siblings tell me because I get really scared.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm going to be putting you in a home actually because I'm going to live forever, you little
Yeah.
bitch.
But then it's interesting because, like, my grandma's the youngest of all her siblings and she's the worst health-wise. And
Yeah, you never know.
This is
Yeah,
not helping the
it's probably
question,
gonna be me.
though.
Oh my God, yeah, not too scary. Well, but I just feel like death is scary, but death is it has to happen. So you have to embrace it. I've just
Embrace
gotten way
death.
better at this in the last few years. Like, you just have to.
See, yeah, that's something that I need to work on. The listener needs to work on having more of
Yeah.
that mindset.
I'm more like, are you guys more scared about yourself dying or other people dying? Because I do think that is like a one or the other type of thing.
Myself.
Yeah.
I think other people.
I'm way more about other people. Like, I'm convinced that I would die young and I don't care if I die.
I care if I die.
Now I do because the dogs. And then if I had kids, I would care. I'm always, I
I
get
can't
so
think about
scared.
this anymore.
Okay, next question. I would suggest, I love listening to psychics and stuff and podcasts about that because it does help me.
Yeah.
Believing in some sort of thing afterwards makes it a
Mhm.
lot better in my
Yeah.
mind. And I do feel like I experience signs and everything from people who have passed. So then I think that helps me be more fine with it.
Oh, I thought of this. I think it happened after our Halloween episode that we recorded, but remember we were talking about like signs from loved ones or whatever. I actually have a little story when we were doing the service for my great grandma and her oldest son was up talking, like he was the first one introducing and like he was the first one giving a speech or whatever. A monarch butterfly flew over and sat on her little flower bouquet and like sat there for a while. And everybody that was watching, because it was behind her son, and all of us were like looking at it and we were all like, it's
Wow.
Gigi.
I just got goosebumps.
Yeah, it was really cool.
That's really cool. I love that.
I love that. Yeah, like just little things like that just makes you be like, yeah, that's Gigi. Like,
Yeah.
she's still with us. And that's another thing too, is like when you lose people, they're gone, but they're still always with you. Like
Yeah.
anybody who's died in my life, like the impact of anything they've taught me or the way that they lived or anything like still is really within you. You don't like
Mhm.
forget it.
For sure.
Gotta scroll. We got a lot of responses. If you were given an envelope with the date you were going to die, would you open it?
Nope. Fuck no.
I would not. That would, I don't know. Because then what if it
Also,
was like a week from now?
I don't believe if you had like a predetermined day you're going to die that you could never get into a terrible accident. Like, I don't believe that like negates the possibility of you like, so like, let's say you knew you were going to die when you're 100. And so you just became a daredevil because you're like, oh, I'm not going to die until I'm 100. So I can go do all this crazy shit. Like, I don't think that you would be
invincible.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen that movie where it's they have like a thing above their head of a countdown of when they'll meet their soulmate? Would you do that?
Yeah, I think I would like to do that. Yeah.
Because then it'd make you feel like, oh, I don't even need to date or anything. Like, if you have more time.
I think it would make me more hopeful that because like kind of I even have thoughts like maybe I'll never find someone, you know?
Yeah.
So like knowing that I would be.
But what if it said like fucking 40 years from now or something?
Yeah, then I would be able to be like, cool, I'm just gonna chill until I meet that person.
I feel like
Why waste my time?
Or like, what if for us it still has?
Then I'd be able to like.
Yeah, like, you're wrong. You're
for me, I'd
incorrect.
be able to just like enjoy my life. Then
That's what I was gonna say. I feel
not
like
worry about it.
I do like the perspective or like that mindset shift of like, you know, you're gonna find somebody eventually. So like, just embracing life and just like doing whatever you want to do and like just living life for you more.
Mm-hmm.
I think is really helpful because when you have to start like sharing a house with somebody else, like, and you know, all those other things.
Yeah.
So I'm an Asian male, 28, and I really like this friend of a friend who is a white female, 28. I don't know if that's relevant.
Same ages.
I meant their races.
Oh,
It could be.
Could be.
Keep
That's
reading.
true.
yeah.
I recently heard that she just broke up with her now ex-BF. Not sure if I should shoot my shot. Not sure if she's even interested in me since she's only ever dated white males. There it is. The one thing we have in common is that I'm the godfather to my friend's daughter and she's the godmother. That's really cute. How do I
It's
begin
the
to
thing,
approach
girl.
this?
Life
Okay,
as
they're
we know
friends.
it.
They're
The
friends.
movie. Go
Oh my
watch Life as We Know It with Katherine
God.
Heigl and Josh Duhamel.
I love
Yes,
that one.
immediately.
That's
That's a really cute situation. Like, I feel like
Mhm.
there's opportunities where you'd be together in group situations where you could
Right.
test out the waters.
Are they friends?
Friends of a friend.
Okay.
Like, she's the godmother of the friend's baby and he's the godfather. So he's probably the guy's
friend
side
is
and she's
here.
probably the
Yeah.
girl's.
Okay. I see.
Probably.
Also, with girls, like you kind of have to like put yourself out there because girls
Yeah.
aren't going
Yeah.
to, you know?
You could always ask a friend to like set you guys up too.
Or like ask a friend to ask how she would feel about it.
Yeah. And I don't think you need to be concerned because she's only dated white guys. Like, I don't
Yeah.
think that necessarily means
I
that
have to
she
say-
like, doesn't like Asian guys or something.
One of
Yeah.
my best friends is half Asian and she only dated white guys like for, I don't know, the last 28 years. And now she's engaged to an Asian man.
Love
and
that.
she's like obsessed with him.
Yeah, like I don't
So I don't think it's
that
like, it
matters
just,
necessarily.
yeah, it's more the right person.
It's just like maybe she's not interested in you just in general,
But she could be.
Yeah.
but she very
so-
well could be.
Yeah.
And it might be like a building thing, like maybe of you guys just hanging out together more frequently in the groups, or you could, if you have her number, or like if you were talking to the friend, you could always talk to her about the baby, you know, sort of thing. Like, oh, we should plan this for the kid, blah blah blah.
Get
Like, let's
together
get her
and-
this
yeah.
present together, or like something like that,
Yeah.
where you can like have your own separate friendship at first.
Yeah, I like that.
That's actually a really good idea. Like Christmas. Christmas is coming up.
Yeah, do it for Christmas. That's perfect.
Yeah.
When you were young and teachers asked you what you wanted to be when you grew up, did you answer confidently or make something up? I could never come up with something, so I lied and wrote down nurse, which is far from anything I'd want to be. I can't do blood.
I think I used to do that too. Like I would pick a job that I would say I want to be a vet, but did I actually really want to be a vet? Like, no, probably not. I was just like, I like dogs, so vet.
I wanted to be a waitress and a cowgirl when I was really little.
I think I answered confidently. I like feel like I knew what it changed over time.
Yeah, that I wanted
But-
to be a vet. I think every girl probably at some point is like, I want to be a vet.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
think my 5th grade job was like vet because I was like obsessed with dogs.
Uh-huh.
My first email was be dog girl at
That is so
Comcast.net.
I love that.
Definitely I wanted to be a teacher at some point.
I
Mhm.
wanted to be everything at some point, I feel like.
And then I was like very
Sorry,
excited to be
I
a
didn't mean to touch your
They're like
face.
fucking nails just dug into the side of my foot. It's so disgusting.
Okay, you put your feet on me earlier and I was like, it's okay.
No, but I was like, oh my god, sorry. Like I didn't mean to touch you.
So did I.
No, but it's different when your toenails
Okay, I'll
graze.
fold my toes. But yeah. What were you saying?
I think I
That
just
we
said I
wanted to
answered
be-
confidently.
Yeah. I imagine Britt is like the boss baby. She like had a briefcase and a
Oh my
blazer.
god! Do you guys know that when I was like in 5th grade, I used to carry a briefcase to the
Yeah.
airport because I really wanted to be like a business person.
Exactly. My point.
The boss
Has
baby.
been made.
Can we please Photoshop that?
AI.
Do they have a girl version?
I don't think so, but they should.
I've never even seen that movie.
Were there no girl boss babies?
There's
Yeah,
just
come
one
on,
baby,
girl
I think.
boss, girl boss baby,
Girl boss baby. Oh my god, that's Brittany.
We should make a new movie.
Let's pitch the production company.
Okay.
Okay, tips for staying in touch with long distance friends. It's so hard to coordinate our schedules to FaceTime, so I'm looking for other ideas.
Voice message.
And that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
It's so nice to do the voice messages because you don't have to be available for a phone call,
Mm-hmm.
but you can like listen to the voice message and then get back to them whenever you have time.
There's also that one video where you send each other videos. I don't remember what
like
it
Marco
is, but-
Polo.
Marco
Yes,
Polo,
Marco
yeah.
Polo.
Yeah,
That'd be
me and my
fun.
family used to use Marco Polo like frequently, and then we just stopped one day.
If you have an iPhone, I also do like pinning people that like
So
I
you
want to
see it.
remember to keep up with.
Oh,
And
that's interesting because sometimes I feel like my pens I see less.
What?
Oh,
Really?
yeah, because they're just
you
at the
don't
top,
see
then it like goes away.
Oh, it reminds me to like message them. But it's kind of fun. I like felt bad about that. I like felt bad about like trying to find ways to remember to like connect or talk or like keep up with people. But then I'm like, wait, if this is like helping me do it, it's okay. So like I think if there's something like even on your calendar, like, hey, did you read like maybe beginning of the month, middle of the month, end of the month? Like you have a little notification on your calendar, like check in with so-and-so. I think it's a good way to like go about it. Because you just have to be really intentional about it with your time.
I think it's knowing too, like the not level of friendship, but just like what you both need to feel good about the friendship and supported. Like if some are more low maintenance and it's like once a month you check in versus people that you're talking to every few days over voice message or there's also like those apps where you can like watch movies at the same time and stuff, but that would have to be coordinated.
Yeah.
I also really like sending my friends little presents, like not expensive things, but like
That's
I'll just send my
cute.
friend like her favorite candy sometimes or something, and like
That's
it feels
so
like
cute.
I don't know, like you're just doing something, but it doesn't have to be like a coordinated schedule thing.
Yeah.
Nice.
I also think you know, like the time hop or Snapchat story memories.
I do that all the time, probably every
Facebook
day.
memories. Yeah, there's so many like funny things that kind of pop up, and I love like just
that's so true. That is such a way
them.
to like. I'll message someone randomly from high school because I'll be like, "Oh, this popped up today." Yeah, like sending them things that remind you of them.
Yeah,
because
like
you think of them.
You oftentimes like throughout your day, they'll probably like pop into your mind because you saw something. So instead of like waiting, just like send it quickly to them.
Which I'm bad about. I hate when you like when you haven't replied to a text and you go to send them a TikTok and then you're like, I haven't replied yet.
Like I'm selfishly want you to respond to my TikTok, but I didn't even respond to you, and you're like,
and then you're like, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't send this.
I do that with you guys. I'm like, I want to send you a TikTok, and I'm like, fuck, I need to respond to these 30 messages.
It makes you. It reminds you though.
But I think actually that's a good thing though. Like for like long distance friendships, like send that TikTok anyways, and then reply to the other thing.
Yeah, exactly. They'll be fine with it. Someone said, should I tell my older kids that they need to move out if they don't help me clean up?
Probably.
That's very interesting. Yeah, that's hard. My mom had this situation where my brother and his girlfriend lived with her for a bit.
Is that while you were still living there or after?
No, it was just before they were saving to buy a house.
Okay.
But like she wasn't charging them rent, and we like had this conversation of whether or not she should be charging him rent, because like I lived with my mom until I was like 27 and she didn't charge me rent, but because my brother has his girlfriend living with them, should she be charging them rent? Or you know, she had him pay the electric bill or something, so they like kind of came to a compromise. But
I saw this one family do it where they did charge rent, but all the rent they kept aside, and then when they moved out they like gave them $30,000 basically, like because it was like, oh, you
those are the things though that I've thought about this, because I've thought about like, okay, if I have kids and I want to pay for their college, but I want them to like contribute to something, but like I don't need the money, or like I saved up enough for, like I wouldn't want, like say I have like 3 kids, I'd probably wait till the baby was done school and then everybody can have their money back.
Like because a trust fund that you've created for them.
But like, because if you know that you're getting the money back before the end of it, then it doesn't, I don't know, I feel like mentally it's
not before the end of it, like when you're done.
When you're done, whatever. But like it's a different mindset, right?
For sure.
Don't you think? Like if you knew, okay, hey, I'm gonna give my mom $1,000 every month, like yeah, of course I'll give her $1,000 because I'm gonna get the $12,000 at the end of it.
Like you wouldn't tell. Yeah. This family kept it a secret. Yeah, that they didn't tell. Oh, so but I'm saying the baby would then know that the older one. The older but then that would suck for you as the older kid, because then you wouldn't. You would be. It depends on the age gap, but you could be 30 something by the time you get the money, and then the baby's gonna get it at 20, and then does that put them at further advantage?
I don't know. In my hypothetical children's lives, maybe everyone gets it at 30.
I don't know. It's very interesting.
Like a trust fund.
Did you guys get like allowance?
We like worked for allowance.
I like
chores?
babysat and made money. Like Jake and Logan, I was their babysitter, and I always made money that way.
I remember getting $1 a week for like the chores or whatever, and my siblings were like pissed about that because they were like, we only got like 25 cents.
We would like only
Inflation.
get money if we did the chores. Like if we vacuumed, it was X number of dollars. If we unload the dishwasher, it was X. Whatever.
Yeah. I think that I was definitely spoiled in that area and didn't have, like what you're saying is I always knew that my mom would then give it to me. So I felt the need to like, I knew I didn't have to struggle. Like my cousin right now, this is happening. My mom always wants to give and help everybody because she's like a literal angel on earth. Like she's like an unreal human. And he's like, no, like I need to struggle. Like I need to go through this. And that's what I've been telling her too. Like I know that you can help me, but like if you do, and I just know that you're always going to help me, then I'm never going to be able to like try harder, like to actually put myself out there. I literally cried in the car with her because we were going, when I was getting my hair done, I was on the way and I was like, you cannot even offer to pay for my hair, like because I knew that she would. And she's like, no, I was going to. And I literally started crying. And I was like, she's like, why are you crying? And I was like, because I don't want you to pay. Like I set aside this money, like I'm paying it for myself.
That's hard.
Yeah, but I understand as a mom, like I feel like I'm gonna want to do that.
Yeah,
because they're your babies. I think there's one more question.
Okay, cool.
I'm a huge introvert. Last time I went out to socialize, I left after 2 hours so I could go back home to my bed and watch a movie. This makes it super hard to meet guys. Long story short, I am nearing 27 and have never had sex. And TBH, I find myself really wanting to. I made a Hinge profile and met with 2 guys, both who bored me after a couple of dates. A few close friends who I told this to tell me to be patient because the right guy will come along. And it'll be so much better being with someone I have feelings for. But honestly, I really just want to meet up with one of these guys and straight up tell them I want to hook up. LOL, advice, please.
I would say there's nothing wrong with doing that.
Yeah. I think as long as you like feel confident and like emotionally ready for that.
Yeah.
Like if you, I mean, it sounds
because
like
you
you're
just
kind
want
of
to
like
get it out of the way
to it.
They talked about this on Monica and Liz's podcast Synced because Monica did the same thing.
Did she regret it?
Nope. She thought it was great and she recommends
on your personality.
it.
Yeah. I think like now that you're 27 years old, like I think you have like a lot of life experience to be like, this is what I want to do. And I think that's okay. Because some people probably from the perspective, like if they did it when they were younger and it was really meaningful to them, like they're like, oh, like this is how you should do it. But that might have been like 15 years ago for them. So
yeah. You just need to be prepared for him to like literally never speak to you again. Like,
but she scenario. Doesn't care about that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If she doesn't care and like, that's fine. Then
like,
I think that's
really don't
fine.
care about it.
Like losing your virginity is not it's not this huge thing that everybody makes it out to be where you're like immediately fall in love with them or your whole life has changed. It probably won't even be good. Like, but you get it over with.
Yeah.
But you. Like, are you attracted to them?
I guess that's like a thing. I wouldn't just like go. I would do this to someone like you're attracted to.
I'm assuming if she's going out on a date with them, then like.
But she said she's bored by that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like you could be attracted, like find people good looking.
Attractive and boring.
But like, yeah, as an introvert, it's hard. You have to have like, you have to be stimulated mentally in order to be. Yeah. Otherwise you start getting tired and you want to go home. Yeah. That's how I always am.
Yeah.
I also don't think you should do it to like because you feel like you need to have done it or like just because you feel like you need to not be a virgin anymore.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. Like
it seems like she just wants to have sex though.
Yeah. Like if you're just horny, go ahead.
Yeah. But maybe you could find another guy on Hinge that you're like, yeah, like this would be fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like if you're, because I think there's enough guys out there that are like, they would be very down to like just have sex and like not really continue it. So like if you can find somebody that you like have good banter with and you're really attracted to them, like it'll make the sex more fun.
Yeah, and being at least comfortable with them will make it.
Yeah.
Because also I wouldn't want to like do it and then like have it be an awful experience and then have like some trauma.
Yeah,
exactly.
Your brain,
that's what
like,
I keep just thinking of. Is like I'm not the kind of person I can't just have sex with a random.
Yeah, because if you have one bad experience, that's going to be in your brain, and you're going to be like, and even like your body keeps the score kind of thing. Like your body's
Yeah.
gonna still hold on to that trauma, even if you think it's not a big deal. Like
Mm-hmm.
how
And
I
you-
can't sleep on vacations because I'm afraid that I'm not gonna be able to sleep on vacation. Like it
Yeah.
makes no
Yeah.
sense, but my body is like,
Yeah.
I didn't like
I
this
definitely
last
think-
time.
If you can find somebody that you like feel very comfortable with and like you're attracted to them, like those are just things like when you're more turned on, like that makes sex more fun.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like I've had friends who've done all of those things. Like I lost my virginity very early, but I was like so in love, and that was really looked down on because I was so young. And then I had friends who like got into college and like lost it to a random frat boy, and then they were like so upset and heartbroken when that didn't work out. And then
Mhm.
I've had friends who waited and then just did it randomly with a random person. And I think it's fine either
Yeah.
way. Make sure you like has STD checked and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's like, what if he gave you something on your losing your virginity?
God,
and like
yeah.
one of my sister's friends got pregnant losing her virginity. Is that
Oh
not the
my
most crazy thing
God, oh my
ever?
God.
Yeah, I do think that's also good. I like got really good at like asking those questions, and more people should just feel comfortable.
Well, yeah, you sent the potatoes back so easily.
What?
She sent the potatoes back at dinner,
Oh,
or
yeah.
told them she didn't like them.
Yeah, same thing. So when
Yeah.
Britt's not turned on, she's really proud.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're not like into the person, like you don't want them to like just shove his dick in you.
Yeah, no, that would ruin your experience. And then
Exactly.
and
And
also
a lot
you
of
have
guys
to,
like, if you're comfortable with a guy, like you could at least like ask to go get lube or whatever. Like,
oh, I just don't know if I'd be comfortable doing any of that. Also, you can do other things. I don't know if you've done other things, but like maybe start out with that
yeah,
before the whole shebang.
that is a good advice.
Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for sending in your questions.
We love
Do you want to do the outro again?
No.
Okay, well, we will see you guys next week and we'll still be together.
Yes.
It's so exciting. So make sure you leave a rate and review wherever you listen to podcasts. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow our TikTok and Instagram. Send us a message.
Send us a message.
No, I meant to say
Submit your
questions in our Google form. Join our Facebook community and we'll see you next week. Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Yay.